My name's Alina and I'm here at Cellar Studios today and I'm recording one of my songs for the very first time. It's a bit daunting but it's also very exciting. I usually play music just at home and I use it to relax and I find it very helpful when I'm stressed. So I'd be really interested to find out if other musicians or bands use music in the same way that I do.
The longer you go about your life, the more and more you realise you need music to counterbalance everything that goes in your life. And in the same way that you feel a lot better if you go for a swim, at the end of the day you feel a lot better if you play music at the end of the day, because it sort of releases all the tension or energy that's just been building up in you.
Do you think music could play a role in reducing the stigma associated with mental illness?
Because music deals with the most abstract of human emotions and experiences.
And it's something that everyone can relate to in one way or the other.
Then it levels everybody. You know, it doesn't matter if you think you're mentally sound or if you think you're mentally unstable. Music and art is a leveling experience for both the listener and the creator. And the whole point of music is that it forms communities, and you have events like this where thousands of people come together and they feel the same thing. You know, they're not exactly the same, but the same heights of emotion, and it doesn't matter if you're you feel you're mentally unstable or not. It's about forming a community where you feel acceptance with everybody else.
Next to a fairy portrait drawn when you fall.
Music influences me in a way that I can kind of express what I'm going through. Like, that's the way I feel about it. Whatever situations or dramas that happen in my life, I like to release it through music.
Before we go on stage, we always kind of huddle together and we talk about what we want to do, and it's always just to serve the songs as best as we can and get back into the frame of mind before there was anyone in front of us, like try and serve the songs basically. So although it can be really scary standing up on a stage and really fun, like having people sing those lyrics back to you, ultimately they wouldn't be doing that if you weren't performing live properly and giving their songs some justice. And music is something that can pull everyone together, and it's pretty much the only way that you can communicate even if you can't talk to each other. So it doesn't matter where you're from, what language you speak, what your social background or your racial background, doesn't matter, that's all kind of disappears when you go to a gig and you're there standing next to all these different people and you're all enjoying the same music. It unites everyone.
You guys won Song of the Year last year.
The chorus of that song essentially is, I'm not scared of losing my mind. I hear it happens to good people all the time. I suppose the basis behind that song is mental illness is indiscriminate. It's not something that people deliberately bring onto themselves, which society can often misconceive. I myself work at Greylands Hospital. What our role is to try and facilitate people to re-engage in just activities of their daily life, things that they would have done before they became unwell. But for people experiencing mental health issues, those things can be real barriers and it can be difficult to manage and do those things independently. And I just incorporate my love of music into what I do as an occupational therapist there and run regular music groups. As we've seen what that's done for people at Greylands, we sort of make it a bit of an effort for us now to donate the limited funds that we do have, trying to get instruments into psychiatric facilities.
I guess I find when I'm writing lyrics, I tend to write when I am in quite a down mood.
I've always found stress is a big factor.
Yeah. Stress.
When you're procrastinating, studying or doing work or whatever, and you want to do something else.
You're doing school assignments or uni assignments, it's like you always just like, I'll do a little bit and then I'll pick up my guitar.
So did you actually go to study OT with the intention of focusing on mental health?
Subconsciously, probably.
I think we all knew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Except Andrew, of course.
Yeah, probably, I'm glad that I'm in this area. I think it's a great area to work in, mental health.
Recording in the studio has been harder than expected, but after hearing some great musicians speak about how music helps them, I'm really inspired to continue writing music, and I find it a very constructive way to deal with stress and challenges in my life.
Music can do amazing things to people. The first thing that it can do, it can remove you from whatever you're going through. It's not like drinking, it's not like taking drugs. It's an actual honest relief, and it can actually give you an insight into what it's like to be in a better place.
It's a lot easier to connect to a song and hear something in a song that you relate to than it is to have a deep, meaningful discussion with another human being. And a song is a public thing that is personal to everyone. Everyone can hear the song, but what it means to you and how you connect to it is something that you don't have to share with anyone.
There's just so much scope within music to do whatever you want, and it's very much about expressing a persona. For me, music is great because it's very much about just expressing that personality and yeah, just being yourself.
We played gigs for days and days and gone through like a few different states and barely slept, and everything was getting really stressed. I honestly didn't think I could even play, but then once, you know, actually going through the act of playing, it's quite cathartic and actually felt a lot better after it.
You know, if you're happy or if you're sad or if you're worried or whatever, there can be a song that somehow expresses that. Even if you haven't written that song, somebody somewhere may have expressed those similar emotions, and so you can connect with that music and almost feel like there is somebody out there who knows what you're going through.